The overleveled player. This player's wallet is more cracked than their actual skill. The overleveled player is the type who speedruns every card upgrade to level 16. That's the new max after December 2025's progression overhaul, by the way. They dump money into gold passes every single season, grind event rewards like it's a full-time job, and spam wildshard trades in the shop the second they refresh. Zero interest in building multiple decks or experimenting with different strategies. Just brute forcing one deck to maximum power and calling it a day. They dominate lower trophy ranges. Their entire strategy is literally just, my stats are bigger than yours. No finesse, no outplay potential, just raw numbers doing all the work. Typical gameplay involves dropping a max level 16 golem at the bridge backed by Night Witch, creating pushes that are legitimately impossible to stop if your troops are underleveled. Like their prince two-shots your tower, yours barely scratches theirs. Your musketeer gets deleted by their fireball, theirs tanks it like it's nothing. It's genuinely unhinged. The December 2025 progression changes were supposed to help casual players catch up faster, but Supercell fumbled the bag so hard, they accidentally made it way easier for whales to max out through the new wild shard system. Actual 200 IQ move right there. January 2026 balance updates tried to fix the matchmaking mess, but the level gaps are still massive and absolutely rage-inducing. Royale API forums and the Clash Royale subreddit are flooded with complaint threads about paywalls. Players are begging for better matchmaking to stop max players from griefing underleveled ones in the same trophy range. Community data shows Gold Pass users with max decks just farming wins in lower leagues purely from stat advantages. Zero skill involved, just vibes and credit cards. This creates the most toxic matchmaking experience in the entire game. No cap. You can play perfectly, make zero mistakes, execute flawless trades, and still lose because their cards are just built different. It's giving pay-to-win energy and everybody hates it. Supercell's getting cooked in the replies constantly, and they've acknowledged the issue in developer blogs, but meaningful changes. Slow as dirt. Embodies the worst parts of mobile gaming and exactly why so many skilled players straight up refuse to touch ladder until their cards are maxed. Like, why even bother when you're getting stat checked every match? But some absolute legends decided to do the exact opposite, the underleveled player. These players are low-key, the final boss of free-to-play. The underleveled player is the complete opposite of what we just talked about. They're competing with cards 2 to 4 levels below the arena average and somehow still winning matches. They reach higher arenas with level 13 cards while facing maxed level 16 opponents every single game. Success comes entirely from elite gameplay, perfect elixir trades, pixel-perfect spell timing, and counter-push mastery. Every mistake is punished 10 times harder because they can't afford slip-ups when a single fireball leaves their musketeer with literally 1 HP. Represent the ultimate underdog story in Clash Royale's competitive landscape. Their defensive rotations are genuinely insane. They usually stick to one specific deck and master it to perfection because switching decks means leveling up a whole new set of cards they can't afford. So they become absolute demons with their one deck, learning every matchup, every interaction, every pixel-perfect placement. Cycling skeletons, evolution, and ice spirit on repeat to kite and distract, squeezing maximum value from every single one elixir play. Win conditions rely on chip damage from Miner or Hog Rider because they can't break through with direct pushes when their cards are so weak compared to the opponents. Reddit communities celebrate these players with highlight montages, and YouTube channels dedicate entire videos to underleveled to legendary arena challenge runs. The 2025 economy changes, including cheaper card upgrades and more magic items from events, were directly influenced by developer empathy for underleveled grinders after the community absolutely lost it demanding changes. The grind is legitimately real for these players, like they're putting in double or triple the matches just to hit the same trophies as someone with maxed cards. These players embody pure skill expression and the free-to-play dream that you don't need to spend a single dollar to compete at high levels. Their success stories influence Supercell's design philosophy, pushing updates that reward skill over spending, main character energy at its finest. Living proof that hands and brain can beat credit cards any day of the week. Meanwhile, this next guy uses 0 brain cells and still wins. The Mega Knight Spammer. This card is the definition of no skill. Just vibes. Mega Knight spammers have one strategy and one strategy only. Drop Mega Knight at the bridge the absolute second they hit 7 elixir. The card was introduced way back in December 2017 and has been terrorizing mid-ladder ever since. September 2024's Evolution update gave Mega Knight an even more annoying version with enhanced spawn damage that deletes entire pushes instantly. The card's mechanics are literally perfect for brain-dead gameplay. Spawn jump that deals area damage, splash attacks that hit multiple units, and knockback that disrupts formations, designed to counter any ground troop. Standard gameplay involves pairing Mega Knight with bridge spam troops like Bandit or Battle Ram. Evolution for immediate tower pressure. Just spam at the bridge and hope it works. Gets completely destroyed by air-based metas since Mega Knight can't target flying units, but mid-ladder players don't run enough air counters, so it works anyway. Supercell nerfed the hit speed in the January 2025 balance update and reduced the evolution spawn damage in November 2025, but it's still absolutely everywhere, because the card requires 0 brainpower to use effectively. The usage percentage is still high, and casual players love or hate Mega Knight. That makes it the most overused card in mid-ladder history. Community's been begging for harder nerfs forever, but Supercell can't kill the card completely because it's iconic and genuinely fun for casual players who don't care about competitive integrity. Playstyle is toxic for anyone trying to climb with skill-based decks because Mega Knight just brute forces wins through stats and mechanics. Still works, people keep spamming it, and the cycle continues no cap. And if you think that's annoying, wait till you meet this guy, the mid-ladder player. This is the player you fought like 900 times and forgot about instantly. Mid-ladder players are permanently stuck around the same trophy range no matter how hard they grind, can't break through. They run outdated decks that were meta in like 22 Elite Barbarian's Rage, Vanilla Bridge Spam, or P.E.K.K.A decks with 0 synergy, completely ignore meta shifts like the January 2026 hero system changes or evolution updates, just stubbornly running the same deck they've used for literal years. Every season, they hit their trophy wall, tilt hard, then climb back to the exact same spot they started at. Represent the largest portion of the active player base, according to Supercell's own statistics. Matches are painfully predictable. Drop Tesla to defend, maybe counterpush with half-effort pressure, then either lose in overtime or win by pure accident when the opponent misplays harder than they did. Royale API data shows most active players sit in mid-ladder and never escape that range. Supercell keeps adding new events and casual game modes specifically to retain these players because they get bored and frustrated with ladder stagnation. Balance updates were designed to help mid-ladder players progress, but most still can't adapt to meta shifts, even when the game literally hands them the information. Community discussions about mid-ladder hell and trophy gates dominate Reddit because the experience is so universally relatable and frustrating for everyone who plays this game. Embodies the pain of going nowhere fast. Playing hundreds of matches but never improving because they won't learn new strategies or adapt their decks to what actually works. Keeps the game alive through sheer player volume and retention-focused updates that cater to casual play. Represents why mid-ladder is genuinely unplayable for skilled players trying to climb. Every match is pure RNG whether you face someone decent or someone who hasn't changed their deck since 2019. Some players saw that predictability and turned it into their whole strategy, the Logbait player. If chess was a Clash Royale deck, this would be it. Logbait players are operating on a completely different mental level. Their entire deck is designed around psychological warfare and spell baiting. Strategy has existed since the log was added to the game back in 2017 and has evolved into one of the most skill-intensive archetypes in competitive play. Decks are packed with multiple low-cost troops that die to log, arrows, or royal delivery. Goblin Barrel Evolution, Princess, Dart Goblin, Rascals. The goal is to force opponents to use their spells on bait troops, then punish them by sending Goblin Barrel when they don't have log available. Every card placement is a mind game. Does he have log? Did he already use it? Is he saving it for the barrel? Current top tier variant is Hero Knight Logbait 2.9 Cycle, which absolutely dominates in grand challenges and high ladder. Uses Goblin Gang for defense against tanks, Inferno Tower for additional damage, and Rocket for spell cycling when you've confirmed what spells they're running. Dominates CRL, that's Clash Royale League, tournaments because professional players can manipulate spell timing perfectly, creating legitimately unwinnable situations for opponents who make one tracking mistake. 2025's evolution updates made Logbait even more viable. Goblin Barrel Evolution cycles faster and deals more damage, and now they are using Skeleton Army Evolution because it's one of the best defensive cards against beatdown. Revolutionized how players think about elixir management and spell tracking. Forces you to mentally track every card in rotation or get absolutely demolished. Proves that big brain gameplay beats brute force any day. Rewards prediction and patience over mindless spam. Genuinely the smartest playstyle in Clash Royale when executed properly, but if you want the most sweaty deck in the game's history, buckle up. The 2.6 Hog Cycle player. This deck is so OP, it's been meta for literally 9 years. 2.6 Hog Cycle players are running the most iconic deck in Clash Royale history. been a top-tier strategy since 2016 when Hog Rider received buffs that made him viable in competitive play. Deck averages 2.6 elixir cost. That's the lowest viable average in competitive play. Consists of Hog Rider as the win condition, Evolution Cannon, Ice Golem Heroes, Ice Spirit, Skeleton's Evolution, Musketeer Hero, Fireball, and the Log. The legendary strategy revolves around cycling cards so fast that you can send Hog Rider every few seconds while still having elixir to defend. Defends massive pushes with minimal elixir through perfect placement and timing. A 1 elixir. Skeletons can kite a Mega Knight across the entire arena if played correctly. Requires insane mechanical skill and game knowledge because one misplaced card loses you the match instantly. Current top variant is Hog Hero Musk 2.6, which features Hero Musketeer for piercing shots, absolutely crushing it on a high ladder. Professional players have been running variations of this deck in CRL tournaments since 2016. That's 9 consecutive years of meta relevance. Think about that. This deck was meta when Obama was still president. The archetype set the gold standard for cycle decks, influencing every low-cost strategy that came after it. Miner Cycle, Royal Hog Cycle, even some Goblin Barrel variants all took inspiration from 2.6. 2025's Hog Rider rework adjusted his hit speed and first attack delay, but kept him viable specifically to preserve 2.6 cycles' place in the meta, proves that efficiency and cycling speed can beat expensive beatdown decks that cost twice as much elixir. Blueprint for every cycle deck ever created. Influenced deck building philosophy across the entire game. Will probably still be meta in 2035 at this rate if the Clash isn't dead by that time. Of course, some players would rather die than switch decks. The one-trick player. These players are more loyal to their deck than most people are to their friends, I swear. One-trick players picked a single archetype back in 2016 and have been running it for thousands of matches without switching. Could be pure beatdown with Lava Hound, Siege with Expo 3.0 Cycle, or Control with P.E.K.K.A. Bandit Bridge spam. Doesn't matter what archetype, they're committed for life. Achieve godlike mastery through pure repetition. They know every matchup, every counter, every possible interaction with their deck down to the pixel. Problem is, they're completely helpless against hard counters. Put a one-trick Expo player against a good Rocket Cycle deck and they just lose. Nothing they can do about it. Thousands of matches of experience means absolutely nothing when the meta shifts and their deck becomes unplayable overnight. Current examples include Goblin Drill mains who refuse to adapt to the hero meta, even though their win condition gets completely shut down by Hero Knight's Shield Bash ability. In CRL tournaments, one-tricks occasionally upset professional players through sheer matchup knowledge and muscle memory, then immediately lose the next round to their hard counter and get eliminated. Community debates rage about whether one-tricking is respectable dedication or stubborn stupidity, especially after major updates like October 2025's Evolution releases that shifted the entire meta. Certain one-trick decks like Expo 3.0 are struggling hard in current meta, but players still force them because they refuse to learn anything else. Emphasizes mastery over flexibility. The philosophy that being S tier with one deck is better than being B tier with 10 different decks. Highlights the risk of over-specialization when Supercell drops balance updates that fundamentally change how their archetype functions. Sparks genuine debates about whether versatility or depth is more valuable in competitive play. Then you've got the players who switch decks like they're changing outfits, the Meta Chaser. You already know what deck this guy's running before the match even starts. Meta Chasers live on Royale API, refreshing the top ladder decks every single day, copying whatever's statistically performing best. The second balance patch notes drop, they're immediately swapping cards. Running Evolution Royal Giant one week, then switching to Hog 2.6 heroes the next when the RG gets nerfed. Read balance changes like it's required reading for a college course, dissecting every stat adjustment to find edges, zero personal creativity or deck building experimentation, just pure optimization and win rate chasing. Their entire goal is climbing ladder as efficiently as possible. Fun is completely secondary to trophies. Typical behavior involves copying the exact 8 cards from a pro player's deck down to card levels and playstyle, achieving crazy high win rates through statistical advantages. Criticized heavily by the community for making ladder matches feel identical. You fight the same meta decks on repeat. Supercell's forced to do monthly balance updates specifically because meta chasers spike card usage rates so dramatically. When one deck dominates too hard, nerfs are incoming guaranteed. January 2026 patch targeted Hero Knight and Hero Mini P.E.K.K.A. because meta chasers pushed their usage through the roof within 2 weeks of release. Optimized all the fun and creativity out of the game completely. Every match becomes predictable when most players are running copied decks. Removes personal expression from deck building and reduces ladder to who's running this week's most broken deck. But they're winning consistently, so from their perspective, why would they ever stop? At least those players are still grinding for themselves. The clan leader. Honestly, these players are carrying the entire game on their backs. Clan leaders have been running clans since Clash Royale launched in 2016. They recruit new members through Discord servers, enforce deck guidelines for clan wars, and track participation to ensure everyone's contributing. Focus is entirely on collective success. Clan trophies, war, promotions, event participation rates. Personal ladder rank is completely irrelevant to them, basically operating as unpaid Supercell employees, doing community management and retention work for free. Without them, Clash Royale's social ecosystem would collapse completely. Typical responsibilities include donating troops to help clan members progress faster, organizing strategy sessions for clan war attack plans, and recruiting skilled players to replace inactive members. Keep communities alive, organizing mega drafts and friendly tournaments, and maintaining clan culture through inside jokes and shared goals. Supercell's 2025 clan perk updates, including expanded donation limits, better war rewards, and clan capital improvements, were directly influenced by feedback from active clan leaders. Clans with active leaders stick around way longer than clans without dedicated leadership. Clash Royale hitting 10+ year lifespan is largely attributed to the social bonds clan leaders foster. Players stay for the community even when they're bored of ladder grinding. Built the entire social foundation that keeps millions of players engaged long-term, providing value beyond just gameplay. Way more important to Clash Royale's longevity than any individual top ladder player or content creator. Low-key, the unsung heroes of the game, keeping the ecosystem functional through pure dedication, and some of those clan vibes spilled into a completely new game mode. The Merge Tactics player Supercell really said, what if we just made a different game inside Clash Royale? Merge Tactics players dominate the mode that launched in 2025, unlocked at Arena 3. It's a player auto battler that plays completely different from traditional Clash Royale. Gameplay involves drafting troops at the start, merging identical units to upgrade them to higher tiers, and assigning clan buffs and trait modifiers for synergistic armies. It's basically auto chess meets Clash Royale. You position your troops strategically, use ruler abilities to buff them, then watch them auto battle against AI opponents. No direct player control during fights, just pre-planning and adaptation between rounds. Completely separate meta from ladder PvP with its own tier lists, strategies, and community discussions. Round-based structure rewards long-term planning, early game economy management to afford better units, mid-game positioning to counter opponent comps, late-game execution with ruler abilities. December 2025 update added Master Builder buildings mechanic for additional synergy combos, allowing players to construct defensive structures that buff nearby troops. January 2026 balance patch nerfed clan trait stacking and universal hit speed buffs because certain combinations were creating legitimately unbeatable armies that no one could counter. Potential for esports integration is being discussed in community forums since the mode requires different skills than ladder, draft knowledge, economy management, positioning strategy instead of just mechanical execution. Takes Clash Royale beyond just 1v1 ladder grind finally, giving players who don't vibe with traditional PvP a competitive outlet, blends auto battler mechanics with Clash DNA successfully, creating a genuinely fresh experience inside the same app. Opens the door for casual players and non-PvP mains to engage with Clash Royale competitively in a completely new format. But nothing changed the game harder than what dropped in December. Section 11, the Hero User. The entire meta got flipped upside down because of this one update. Hero users are grinding the December 2025 hero system that fundamentally changed deck building and gameplay. System introduced unlockable hero variants of existing cards with unique activated abilities that cost extra elixir to use. Hero Knight spawns with a massive shield and can activate a shield bash ability for extra defense. Hero Musketeer deploys a turret that deals piercing shots hitting multiple units when you activate her ability. Hero Mini P.E.K.K.A. swings both a cracked sword and a golden spatula, with an ability that got nerfed hard in January 2026 for being genuinely broken. Also includes Hero Giant with brass knuckles and his own ability, along with Hero Wizard and Hero Ice Golem, each bringing game-changing mechanics. Unlocking them requires grinding hero fragments from events and challenges, with each hero needing 200 fragments to unlock. Completely twisted the meta toward ability-based hybrid strategies instead of traditional archetypes. Current top-tier hybrid decks are running heroes everywhere. Hero Ice Golem's ability for defensive plays, Hero Musketeer's turret for extra damage, creating synergies that were impossible with regular cards. CRL preview tournaments for 2026 season are hyping heroes as the future of competitive play, with pros experimenting with hero-heavy compositions that didn't exist 6 months ago. The grind is real though. You need hero fragments from special events and challenges, plus wild shards to speed things up. Community culture shifted toward managing ability costs and activation timing, fundamentally changing how matches are played compared to 2024's evolution-focused meta. Only players who have put their credit card on the line are enjoying the hero's full potential. Elevated deck building complexity to a completely new level. Now, you're juggling regular elixir costs plus ability activation costs on top of traditional elixir management. Shifted Clash Royale's identity toward epic ability-driven strategies instead of simple card spam. What many are considering to be the death of Clash Royale may in the future enable the game to survive. At least that must be what Supercell hopes will happen. Subscribe.